Since the surge in January, the Florida Hospital Association says almost 17,000 people were hospitalized in the state on Thursday. Dr. Timothy Groover with Baptist Health is the operator of 5 hospitals in Jacksonville.
We're seeing the ages decrease from what we saw in the previous variants. It's attacking the younger, and the younger are sicker, and they're sicker quicker.
Health experts say getting vaccinated is the best way to reduce the chances of serious illness. The White House says Thursday was the first day in 7 weeks where 1 million vaccine doses were administered. President Biden will speak today to discuss the latest in Afghanistan, where the White House says 3,000 people were evacuated on Thursday. ABC's Ian Pannell in Kabul says with about 15,000 Americans and nearly 60,000 Afghans desperate to leave, just getting to the airport is a major challenge.
Problem all along has been on the other side of the wire, the side that the Americans don't control, the side that the Taliban is in charge of, and it's not really in charge of, it's just chaotic scenes there. The Taliban struggling to control the crowds and is using fairly brutal tactics to try and do so, using gunfire, using batons, and we've just been inundated with people telling us exactly the same story. They have the right paperwork, they have the credentials, they have the okay to get there, and they still can't get through.
In North Carolina, 2 people are confirmed dead. About 20 others are missing after flooding in the western part of the state. Governor Roy Cooper says there have been about 200 water rescues.
We are so grateful to the men and women who are out there in teams searching for people.
And Tropical Storm Henri expected to reach hurricane strength by Sunday. Hurricane watches issued for parts of Long Island, Connecticut, and Massachusetts. You're listening to ABC News.
If you owe the IRS back taxes, then get ready to pay up. The IRS has giant private collection agencies actively tracking down folks who owe the IRS. So if you think dodging them was stressful in the past, it's going to get a whole lot tougher. Optima Tax Relief has this advice. Don't wait. Solve your tax problems now before it's too late. Optima Tax Relief works to stop the demand letters, stop the aggressive collection actions, and stop the IRS collectors from targeting you. Ask Optima about the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands, and nobody knows this program better than they do. Optima is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, and they get results, having resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Get a fresh start. Call today for your free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
A controversial bill in Texas is one step closer to passage as Democratic lawmakers return to Austin. Republicans say the legislation they want to pass will ensure election integrity, but Democrats say the bill will muzzle minority votes and voices.
For the first time in over a month, when the clerk of the Texas House took roll,
a quorum is present.
But not every state lawmaker is pleased.
There is no good explanation for any Democrat to be on the House floor in Texas.
Jasmine Crockett represents the Dallas area in the Texas House. A Republican-crafted elections bill is all but assured passage now. It would roll back the 24-hour and drive-through polling places that drove Black and Hispanic voter participation to record highs last year. Jim Ryan, ABC News, Dallas.
Coming soon, Amazon department stores. The Wall Street Journal reporting the retail giant plans to open brick-and-mortar locations in the U.S. Some of the first stores expected to pop up in Ohio and California. Spaces would be smaller than usual department stores, but full of items from top consumer brands. Broadway is roaring back. It was an emotional return to rehearsals Thursday for the cast of The Lion King, the first time since the pandemic shut the show down in March of 2020. The Lion King, Hamilton, and Wicked set to reopen in the middle of next month, but ticket sales have been slow. This is ABC News.
The U.S. dollar is plummeting. Protect your savings against inflation with precious metals. I'm Dinesh D'Souza for Birch Gold Group. Birch Gold Group is who I trust to help you protect your IRA or 401k with gold and silver. With thousands of satisfied customers, an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Get a free information kit by texting the word PROTECT to 989898. Again, text PROTECT to 989898 today.
Brian Clark, ABC News.
The reasons more and more people are coming to NC Tractor to do business are the selection of Massey Ferguson tractors, Bobcat zero-turn mowers, fantastic customer service, and the special Phil Sheehan seasonal discounts. NC Tractor on Railroad Avenue in Rutherford is making dreams come true for folks who want the rest.
Good morning, everyone. We made it to a Friday and saw a lot of rain in spots last night, so the roads are rather wet this morning. We'll see a few additional light rain showers as well through the morning commute. This afternoon, we'll see scattered showers and storms likely late in the afternoon and through the evening. Our highs today will be in the mid to upper 80s. We'll see more showers and storms tapering off overnight tonight. Few additional showers and storms Saturday and Sunday afternoons. I'm meteorologist Zach Malak in the Weather Center.
We still have cloudy skies here in the foothills, and we're starting out at 68 degrees this morning. Had 69 earlier, dropped back one. But our expected high is 87. Heat index around 92 with a chance of precip only about 40% today. And then tonight looks like only about a 30% with lows around 67, about where we are right now for Friday night high school football action. Again, right now, 68 degrees. They're still searching for bodies up in Haywood County from the flooding that took place a few days ago. They're still searching up there. So our continued prayers and thoughts are with those folks. 6 minutes after 7, I have these death announcements this morning. Linda Freeman Roper, 65, of Hollis Road, Ellenboro, died Tuesday at Hospice of the Carolina Foothills. The funeral service will be held 3 p.m. Sunday, August 22nd in the Pageant and King Chapel. Visitation will be from 1:30 until 3 prior to the service at the mortuary. The family will hold private burial at Bethel Baptist Church Cemetery. The Pageant and King Mortuary and Crematory is in charge of the arrangements for Linda Freeman Roper. Helen Sally Day Sprouse, 82, of Swindell, passed away Tuesday, August 17th at her home. Funeral services will be held 3 p.m. Sunday, August 22nd at Fellowship Holiness Church, 301 Divinity Street, Spindale. Crow's Mortuary is assisting the family of Helen Sally Day Sprouse. Linda Freeman Roper, age 65, of Hollis Road, Ellenboro, died Tuesday, August 17th at the Hospice of the Carolina Foothills. The funeral service will be held 3 o'clock Sunday, August 22nd, in the Pageant at King Chapel. Visitation will be from 1:30 until 3 prior to the service at the mortuary. The family will hold private burial at Bethel Baptist Church Cemetery. The Pageant and King Mortuary and Crematory is in charge of the arrangements for Linda Freeman Roper. Danny Ray Johnson, age 60, died Tuesday at Henderson Care Center. A service from the graveside will be held at 11 o'clock Saturday, August 21st at Pleasant Grove United Methodist Church Cemetery. The Pageant and King Mortuary and Crematory is in charge of the arrangements for Danny Ray Johnson. William Glenn Stepp, age 69, of Inman, died August 16th at Hospice of the Carolina Foothills in Forest City. A celebration of his life with appropriate COVID-19 precautions in place will be held at Gowinsville Community Center at 6 o'clock on Saturday, August 21st. Crow's Funeral Home is assisting the family of William Glenn Stepp. Joel Beeson, age 64, of Forest City, passed away Sunday, August 15th at Accordius Health, Rutherford, formerly White Oak Manor. A memorial service will be conducted at 4 o'clock Friday, August 20th at the Harrelson Funeral Chapel. The family will receive friends 1 hour prior to service at the funeral home. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services entrusted with the arrangements for Joel Beeson. Jeremy Harden, age 32, of Easley, South Carolina, passed away Thursday, August 12th at Prisma Health in Greenville. The celebration of life for Jeremy will be conducted at a later date. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services entrusted with those arrangements for Jeremy Harden of Easley, South Carolina. Brian Douglas Levine, age 70, passed away Friday, August 13th. Those arrangements incomplete and will be announced later by Crow's Mortuary and Cremation Service. Again, that's Brian Douglas Levine. Lester Green of Bostic passed away August 18th at Hospice of the Carolina Foothills. The funeral service will be conducted at 3 o'clock Saturday, August 21st at Spindale Fellowship Holiness Church. Burial will follow in the church cemetery. The family will receive friends 1 hour prior to service time at the church. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services has been entrusted with the arrangements for Lester Green of Bostic.
Bill O'Reilly here, and I'm warming up from the NRIA.net studios in New York. Stand by for the O'Reilly Update Morning Edition. Investors, Bill O'Reilly here. Are you sitting on capital or wanting to diversify? The NRIA Real Estate Development Fund provides returns right now. They capitalize on strategic markets. They offer payouts of 10% annualized returns plus bonuses up to 21%. They are a 15-year industry leader who have seen it all. Start your due diligence at nria.net or call 800-800-1414. That's easy. 800-800-1414.
An offer of securities is only made by the NRIA Private Placement Memorandum. Read it first. Past performance does not guarantee future results. NRIA is a real estate development firm. Learn more at nria.net.
On this Friday, I am anticipating more strife coming this fall when the vaccine mandates kick in. Blue states like New York, California, Illinois will deny the unvaxxed access to many, many things. And a lot of employers will terrorize unvaxxed workers. That is going to happen. Now, the pressure will lead to some unvaxxed people getting the medicine, but millions will not. So then what? Well, the unvaccinated are going to suffer. There's no question about it. In New York City, you are not going to be able to do anything inside. That includes going to a restaurant, a gym, a movie, a play, nothing. And then you're going to have that spiral across the country. Some states, red states, won't do it, but the majority of Americans, remember California, New York, Illinois, big populated states, are going to be penalized if they will not take the vaccine. It's not a matter of whether this is right or wrong, fair or unfair. We'll go over that again some other time. This is reality. The people running the states and the federal government at this time believe that vaccinations are the only way to control COVID. Now this. This year marks 20 years since September 11, 2001, and the Tunnel to Towers Foundation has been supporting America's heroes ever since that terrible day. When a first responder or military service member does not return home, Tunnel to Towers pays off the mortgage to lift the financial burden and bring their families some stability. Donate just $11 a month to make a difference at t2t.org. That's t2t.org. That is the Morning O'Reilly Update. More analysis later on.
Good morning. Good morning.
A lot of stations can play great music, but it's what we do between the music that sets us apart. Serving the foothills of the Carolinas, we're family-friendly radio, WCAB.
How do you define strength? Is it physical? Or is it mental? Maybe it's both. Maybe it's whatever empowers a person to dig deeper, fight harder, and overcome obstacles that once seemed insurmountable. Discover how much stronger and more confident your children can be. Encourage them to participate in a sport when they go to high school.
This message presented by the North Carolina High School Athletic Association and the North Carolina Athletic Directors Association.
William Whitney Brazelton was 6 foot tall and weighed around 200 pounds. He was described as a giant, big, good-natured fellow who was harmless as any man could be. Little is known about his early life. He did tell a friend that he had robbed a couple of stages in northern Arizona, 3 over by Silver City, New Mexico, and 4 around Tucson. There were stage robberies in the vicinity of Tucson that mysteriously had 2 sets of horse tracks leading to the scene of the robbery, but none leaving it. These robberies were performed by a man who wore a mask over his head with holes cut in it for his eyes and mouth. Because of information received from a friend of Brazelton's, the sheriff set up an ambush. On August 19, 1878, Brazelton was shot down in a hail of bullets. It was discovered why 2 sets of horse tracks would lead to the robbery scenes, with none leaving it. It seems that Brazelton had devised horseshoes that could be reversed in order to confuse trackers. Now, as to his fame after death, Brazelton was brought back to Tucson, propped up against the wall with his guns on his lap, and pictures were taken of him with and without his mask. Today, any series of outlaw photographs, either alive or dead, includes at least one of the two pictures of Brazelton. Incidentally, taking pictures of dead outlaws wasn't unusual. Quite often, photographers charged money for people to have their picture taken next to the local bad boy. That is, until he started stinking. You've just heard another story from Old West Radio. I'm Dakota Livesay.
Put Jesse James Railroad Express on your lunch calendar. He has a menu chocked full of fresh cooked burgers, fresh salads, hot dogs made any way you like, taco salads, specialty burgers, sandwiches, french fries, or onion rings. Enjoy refreshing milkshakes, Coke floats, or a cone of hand-dipped ice cream. Open Monday through Saturday, 11 to 4, closed Wednesday and Sunday. Jesse James Railroad Express, 531 Railroad Avenue, Rutherford. Call 828-447-4644. Mondays only. Hot dogs with mustard, chili, and onions for only $1.24 each. All aboard the Jesse James Railroad Express.
It's 7:16, and it's a Football Friday here in the Foothills. And let's get to the phones to find out what news is breaking. And we'll stop first at the Sheriff's Department. And Deputy Chapman, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
What's on the report today?
In the last 24 hours, Rutherford County Sheriff's Office responded to 169 calls for service, 16 arrested, and 201 incarcerated in the jail. As far as incident reports go, we have a Gerald Stemple off of Mountain Way, Lake Lure, reported fraud. Have Micah Elijah Montadon off of Willow Lakes Drive in Rutherford, reported a simple assault. That's all we have for incident reports. As far as arrest reports go, we have Travis Edward Queen off of Wagon Trail, Mooresboro, arrested for failure to appear on misdemeanor. Have Charles Palmer off of 2nd Avenue, was arrested for failure to appear on misdemeanor. Ashley Nicole Varney off of Old US 221A, Mooresboro, arrested for failure to appear on misdemeanor. Brian Michael Whitner off of Rock Corner Road, Forest City, arrested for habitual felon and driving while license revoked. Michael Sean Green off of East Highway 74 Business was arrested for driving while license revoked. Have Annette Mariah Wagner off of Island Ford Road was arrested for failure to appear on felony. Have a Michael Anthony Robbins off of Wild Avenue, arrested for possession of methamphetamine, possess drug paraphernalia, and failure to appear on misdemeanor. Have Ryan Kimball off of McDowell Street, arrested for misdemeanor larceny. And Danielle Nicole Patterson off of Bryan Drive, Forest City, arrested for failure to appear on misdemeanor. And that's all we have for today, sir.
Deputy Chairman, thank you very much for that report, and you be safe out there this weekend.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day.
18 minutes after 7 o'clock, the Valdez drawn at Thomas Jefferson game has been canceled tonight due to a COVID breakout at one of the places. We're not sure where, but that game will not be played tonight. Chase will continue to play tonight at West Henderson as far as we know at this point. And our game, RS Central at McDowell, still is good to go as of now. We'll listen to Mr. Friday Night Jay Coombs at 8:05 this morning. He'll give us an update on the schools that have been canceled due to the flooding up in the western part of the state and also due to COVID. And we'll find out firsthand from him exactly what takes place in high school football opening night tonight across western North Carolina. And here's Lindsay now reporting from 911 Communications Center. Lindsay, what's on your report today?
In the past 24 hours, Rutherford County Sheriff's Office 911 Communications has processed 512 911 calls and administrative calls, which consisted of 45 EMS, 25 rescue, Under Law Enforcement, 169 Sheriff's Office, 66 Forest City, 4 Lake Lure, 53 Rutherford, and 56 Spindale. Under Fire Calls, Bostic House Structure Fire, assisting departments Cliffside, Ellenborough, and Forest City. SDO had a smoke non-structure. Spindale and Sandy Bush had motor vehicle accidents, and that is all.
Thanks so much. You have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
Bye. Well, 2 people dead, 20 still missing in North Carolina, in western part of the state. Western North Carolina, Haywood County Emergency Services announced yesterday that 2 people were confirmed dead after the flooding that prompted dozens of water rescues. Their identities were not immediately released. Around 20 people remained missing. The storm that blew through the area Tuesday made roads impassable, washed out bridges, and swamped homes and businesses. Another Fred-related death was reported earlier in the week in Florida, where a driver hydroplaned and flipped his car into a flooded ditch. More than 200 people searched flooded areas along the Pigeon River. At least 10 bridges were damaged or destroyed in the Crusoe community, where engineering teams work to construct temporary bridges to allow people in and out of their homes. It's been a frightening thing up in the western part of the state. An emergency shelter at a nearby high school housed 11 people Thursday. North Carolina Democratic Governor Roy Cooper planned to join Haywood County officials late yesterday afternoon to survey flood damage. Republican Senator Tom Tillis toured the area earlier in the day. Farther north, about 10 families evacuated their homes in the rural western town of Western in central New York and other areas as water continued to rise. We'll keep our news out there for you to let you know how that's coming up in western North Carolina as they continue to search for those missing people. Here's Ruby Taylor reporting from Danieltown, SDO Fire District. Ruby, good morning.
Good morning.
What's on your report today?
Well, the fire department had 1 call, and then on my birthday calendar, I've got Jacob Baldwin and Juanita Marr, and Mr. and Ms. Mike Smith, Mr. and Ms. Mike Sisk is having an anniversary. And tomorrow, Kathy Huntley and Ina Queen is having birthdays tomorrow. And Sunday, Blake Dooley and Donnie Baldwin, and somebody's named Faye Bishop, and you better be good to her.
Oh, I'm glad you reminded me about her birthday coming up. Thank you, Ruby.
And you better be good to her, Jim.
I will. I'll try my best to turn over a new leaf.
And the signs are in the legs today, tomorrow, and going to the feed on Sunday. And that's all I got, Jim.
Thanks, Ruby. I appreciate it. You have a great weekend.
You too.
Thanks. Bye-bye. 22 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Friday morning edition of the Morning Report.
It's the 29th Hot Nights Cool Rides in Forest City Car Show, set for Friday, August the 20th and Saturday, August the 21st. With over 400 cars, trucks, and motorcycles recognized and 50 different car classes, join them on Friday, August the 20th for a kickoff, free cruise-in, and concert from 6 until 8:30 at the Forest City Pavilion on Park Square. Featured band will be Ocean Boulevard Band. Concessions and food truck will be available. Then on Saturday, the car show will start at 9 a.m. until 8 p.m. Now, this is an alcohol-free event and no pets are allowed. Car registration will be on Saturday, August the 21st from 9 a.m. until 12 noon, $30 per vehicle, and that includes a free T-shirt. Now, food vendors will be there, ice cream, funnel cakes, and a whole lot more. This is a big family event. That's Friday and Saturday, August the 20th and 21st, the Forest City Car Show in beautiful downtown historic Forest City.
Officer Hill, the police officer that was shot on the line of duty recently, was welcomed home yesterday. He's home in Forest City, and a major parade was offered on his behalf. Cars, police cars, fire trucks, people lined the streets of Forest City welcoming him home, and we welcome him as well. Congratulations on a great recovery, and hopefully you'll continue to recover as fast as possible. Let's go up to Fairfield Mountains Fire District now. Gary Wilson, good morning.
Good morning, Jim. Glad to hear you got home.
Yes, that was
good news.
That was a touch and go for a while, but he pulled out. He's going to be great. He's going to be okay.
That's good. Glad to hear that. Well, we've had pretty quiet 24 hours. We had a little storm come through yesterday afternoon and dumped a bunch of rain up at the fire department. Must have had about an inch up there in about 45 minutes.
Wow.
And not that much here at the house. I had about a quarter of an inch here, but it was some dark clouds and thunder and lightning and a little bit of wind. right after that was over with, we had a tree and power line and transformer down on the ground. Had to stand by with it till Duke Power got there. That was the only call we had during all that. And overnight, quiet. Everybody should have got a chance to catch a few winks of sleep, and hopefully the day will be even less eventful than what we had the last 2 or 3 days. Of course, it's going to be hot and sticky in the afternoons for the next few days, sounds like, up around 90, low 90s by the weekend. So there's always a chance of a thunder boomer coming up, and you got that kind of heat around. At summertime, that's what you get around here.
That's exactly right. There's never any dull moments in western North Carolina, is there?
Nope, not weather-wise. There sure isn't. And that's about all we got going up here, Jim, sitting on about 70 degrees and waiting for another day.
Well, I hope you have a quiet weekend, Gary. Stay safe up there, and we'll check in with you next time.
All right, you have a good one.
Thanks. 7:25.
Cheryl, have you been to the Homeworks Design Center inside Henson Building Materials in Forest City?
Oh, yes. Shana, David, and William are incredible at designing kitchen and bath cabinetry for my new she shed.
Your what?
And they have a full line of windows and doors on display in their 5,000 square foot showroom. And they'll install any ones you pick out for me.
Oh, you're too good to me.
I know. With selling and installing, it's basically one-stop shopping.
Henson Building Materials, 177 Duke Street, Forest City.
Building starts here.
Your car's best friend can be RS Speedy Lube Service Center. That's because RS Speedy Lube Service Center and Car Wash can keep your car or truck running clean with a regular oil change. They check the fluids and vacuum out the car and have you on your way in no time. Go next door for a radiator or transmission flush, brakes, exhaust, CV joints, and service for big trucks and campers also available. Pull next door to the RS Speedy Automatic Car Wash and make your car happy with a clean, all under and all over car wash. It's all at RS Service Center and Car Wash on Railroad Avenue in Rutherfordton.
Officers in Forest City are trying to determine the cause of death for a man whose body was found burned on Monday, July 12th on Pine Street. Officers say the body of Drew Giddings was found outside his home by a probation officer after the officers tracked his last known location from an ankle monitor. And upon finding the area, they found a tree smoking and found Drew Giddings there at the tree, according to Lieutenant Brandon Rothrock of the Forest City Police Department. Lieutenant Rothrock says there were no obvious signs of foul play, and there is no threat to the public. Autopsy was performed on Wednesday, and authorities are still waiting on those results. Let's check in now with Bob Hodge over the Hudlow Fire District, and hopefully things have been quiet over there. Bob, how you doing?
We're doing just fine on this Friday morning.
Thank goodness it's finally Friday, friend.
Got another week behind us here, hadn't we? But look like it's going to be another hot, humid Friday up here, though. It got real hot and humid yesterday afternoon. We had that thunder shower come through and cool things down. So, but this morning it's looking real nice up here. Good. And with the fire department, we ain't the one medical call during the night. So, been pretty quiet with the fire department. Want to say happy birthday today to Howard Looky Doo. And over the weekend, I believe we have Faye Bishop for Sunday there. So you do something nice for her over the weekend.
I keep telling her how young she looks. That'll make her happy.
Oh, just brag on her a little bit.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'll tell her how young she looks.
Well, you better do something good for her there, because you might get in the doghouse there.
Oh,
so
I can't
you
stand
don't want that.
Too hot and humid to be in the doghouse.
Oh. Well, Jim, that's about it. And you take care, and I hope you have a good weekend.
Bob, I hope you do too. You and I, Gene, have a good weekend. Be safe up there and stay happy, and I'll see you next time.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. 7:29, and we are at 68 degrees, our temperature reading.
It can be a tough call when it comes time to provide a daycare service for an aging parent or a loved one. You can always depend on Rutherford Life Services for a safe facility that offers medical monitoring, nutritional meals, fun activities, and is a loving environment. Rutherford Life is licensed by the State of North Carolina Division of Aging. They will be glad to answer any questions you may have. Call them at 288-1697. Rutherford Life Services offers a trained staff of professionals who you can entrust your loved one to. Rutherford Life Services is located at 230 Fairground Road in Spindale.
The Braves were off last night, so no score for the Braves. They would be back in action tonight, but we will have high school football instead of the Braves tonight. We'll check in now with the Cherry Mountain Fire District. And Sue Price, how you doing?
Good morning, Jim. I'm doing good. Hope you are.
Yes, indeed.
Yes. Pretty nice looking morning out there. And everything's quiet over this way. I hadn't had any calls from the fire department. I only have one birthday, and it's on my personal calendar, and it's for Adam Setzer. So I hope Adam's going to have a good birthday, and we hope anybody that's having a birthday or anniversary will have a real good day on their special day. And in my announcements, the Hopewell Hollis Ruatan Club will be having a chopped sirloin supper at the Hopewell Hollis Clubhouse, and that's going to be tomorrow night, the 21st, from 4 to 8 p.m. You can dine in or take out, and adults are $10, 6 to 12 is $5. Be chopped sirloin, baked potato, French fries, salad bar, good desserts and drinks and everything to go with the supper. They always have a good one there. And I hope they'll have a good turnout. And the Tiny Mountain Boys will be singing at Duckins Creek Church Sunday, the 29th, at the morning worship service. And that's what I have. It's just quiet and calm over this way, looking for a good day. And I hope you'll have a good day and a good weekend, Jim, and give Faye our best wishes for a happy birthday.
I sure will, Sue. I appreciate that. And you and Richard have a great weekend as well, and I'll see you next time.
All right.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Does your financial advisor take the time to really listen to you? Is your financial strategy personalized for you and your family? Will your financial advisor be there as your life and financial situation change? Hi, I'm Andrew Tisdale, your local Edward Jones financial advisor. When we work together, we focus what's important to you. We create a personalized strategy backed by our advice, our tools, and resources to help you reach your goals. And we partner together to help your strategy stay on track no matter what happens. Contact me at any time at 828-287-9197. We'll sit down, talk, and we're going to make a strategy that's right for you.
Well, 2021 should go down in the history books as the strangest football year ever in this part of the state. We had spring football instead of last fall when the COVID was so strong. We had spring football. Now we got fall football, and the schools are canceling their games right and left because of COVID or because of flooding conditions up in the western part of the state. So it has been a strange juggle of games. But Mr. Friday Night, Jay Coombs will be on the air with us at 8:05 and explaining all that to us. And be sure to stay tuned and listen to that. Our game of the night, RS Central at McDowell, still on cue to go as of right now. Let's check in up at Shingle Hollow Fire District. And Tina White, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I am doing great this morning. It's 70 degrees up here in Shingle Hollow and clear skies. Fire departments were quiet. No birthdays. So it's just all quiet. Sunday, Tiny Knob is having at 6 p.m. the John Lancaster family come sing. So they want everybody to come out and enjoy the singing. And that's all we got going on. Nothing's going on.
That's the way a Friday ought to be, with everything quiet. Nobody's busy fighting fires or rescuing anybody down in that part of the state. So that's the way weekend ought to start, right?
Yes. Sounds great to have a peaceful, quiet, and I hope it stays that way all day.
Well, you be careful.
All weekend.
You be careful on the road and enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you next time.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. That's Tina White reporting out of Shingle Hollow and the fire district there. She also reports for Green Hill Fire District as well. It's 7:34. Let me brag on Hutchins Pest Control a minute. Don't let the pest bug you when Hutchins Pest Control is as close as a phone call. Honest, dependable, professional, and on-time service may be the reason they keep getting voted best pest control. If you have a pest problem, call this family-run business at 287-5171. Licensed in North and South Carolina and fully insured and bonded. Get a free estimate when you call Hutchins Pest Control and be sure the job is done right. That's Hutchins Pest Control. Call them today at 287-5171 and they'll be right there. Imagine being surrounded by comfort At Immaculate Heating and Air Conditioning, they offer ultimate home comfort by Coleman. They will install a Coleman high-efficiency heating and cooling system and handle any service and maintenance, all for one low monthly payment with zero out-of-pocket costs for 10 years. That's right, 10 years with no service or repair fees, no maintenance fees, no unexpected cost at all. Ultimate home comfort. It's more comfort all around. Contact Nathan Blackburn at 828-755-5788. That's 755-5788, or visit ImmaculateHeatingandAir.com. Good man. You'll like doing business with them. Give them a call. And be cooler this summer and warmer this winter. 7:35, we'll head up now to Union Mills and check in on Brenda Kelly, see what's going on up there. Brenda, good morning.
Good morning. How are you on this fantastic Friday morning?
Fantastic. Hey,
That's
listen,
good.
is the Union Mills football team playing tonight, or have they canceled their game?
if they've got a football team, I don't know.
I thought maybe you were the head cheerleader.
No, I ain't no cheerleader. Now, if it was basketball, I might be interested. But I'm anxious about this basketball season this year with the Tar Heels, with their new coach.
Yeah, that should be interesting.
Yeah, we'll see. But let's see, I've got 64 degrees on the front porch. I don't have any birthdays or any anniversaries in ways of announcements. Lunch at the Union Mills Community Club, that'll be 12 noon. That'll be Tuesday the 24th. Bring a covered dish and a neighbor. And the Gilkey School Community Center has canceled bingo on Saturday the 21st due to COVID. And then Country Breakfast Buffet Saturday, August the 28th, 7 to 10 a.m., White House Community Center at 5408 Painters Gap Road, Union Mills, NC, 28167. Adults, $6. Children, 6 to 12, $3. Children 5 and under, free. And they have all kind of good food. All proceeds go for the upkeep of the building. For bookings, call Maria Deckert at 828-625-9240. And so far, I think that's all I got going on up here in this quiet little community.
I like quiet.
I know it. I'm sorry for those people. We're up in Hayward County, or is it Transylvania, where they had so much flooding and people missing and 2 pounds.
Haywood County is where they've had so much flooding, so people missing. But Transylvania County also got hit pretty hard with some flooding and some mudslides. But Haywood County is where the biggest, where they're missing. 20 still missing up that way. That'd be terrible. That is. That'd be a terrible way to face the next morning, wondering where you folks are.
I know it. I know. I was watching 13 News, not last night, but night before, I believe it was. And they had a man on there, and he was going to get in his car to leave. And he said the water just come rushing, and his 12-year-old son was there with him. And it just swept him away, and he just reached out and grabbed him real quick and held on to him. I said, boy, that was a miracle.
It really was. A young man was alert and to save his life, wasn't he?
That's right. That's exactly right. But I've never lived through nothing like that, but I guess that water and that much of it just don't take it but a second to sweep you away.
Well, it's such a powerful force behind it. It's hard to, if you don't are not able to grab a hold of something, it'll pull you down in no time.
I know it. I'm glad I live on top of the hill, not at the bottom.
You'd have to do a lot of rain to flood you out, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would. But a mudslide might come. I don't know. But
yeah.
But I'm just glad that I live at the top, because I've got creeks all around me.
Yeah. Your driveway doesn't get washed out as much as it used to, does it?
No, I guess we finally got that thing packed down, and Little Man got out there and cleaned the side ditches out back in early spring, and that helped a lot too. The water run off the side ditch instead of down the driveway. But used to, when we first moved here, goodness gracious, it was terrible.
Yeah, I remember you saying about it some mornings when we told you, said my driveway's been washed out, I can't get out. So I'm glad you got that repaired.
Yeah, got it fixed, and all kind. I ain't no telling how much money we spent on gravel on that driveway, but that's all right. That's how I get in and out.
Yeah, that's good. Well,
but I guess you better go check on Luther Sweet Thing Gilligan and see if everything's all right in Ellenborough.
Be safe up there and have a good weekend.
Catch you later.
Bye.
Thinking about the departure of a loved one through death is a subject we don't like to talk about. However, pre-planning or prepaying for a funeral is a consideration and responsible thing to do. With so many options available today, it's important to speak with someone you can trust and someone who can help you find a balance between the emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved ones. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory is recognized as one of the best family-run funeral homes. It's a family tradition, and they know how to care for your family. Any questions you might have, they will be happy to answer. Call Crow's Mortuary and Cremation Services at 286-2304.
Now I believe it's time to go to Ellenboro and talk with a man on the street over there about what's happening in that beautiful little town. Luther Gilligan, good morning, sir.
Good morning, you two. Nice day down here. You ought to be here.
I wish I was there.
The coffee's good, the conversation's good. And
well, I have
you on the grass.
I have a few friends over in Ellenboro, believe it or not.
Well, you got one anyway.
Well, I'm proud of every one of them.
Yeah, every one of them. But it's quiet down here this morning. Not a whole lot going on. Everybody's just trying to get this last day in. Looking forward to a weekend coming up. And tomorrow we're going to be having that big chopped sirloin dinner over at Hollis Hopewell Rutan Club from 4 to 8 p.m. tomorrow. Everyone's invited to come on down and partake in it and have a good time there. Let's see here. In the fire department, they had one structure fire yesterday morning. Other than that, they've been quiet, nothing going on with them. And just not a whole lot going on anywhere there. Everything's nice and peaceful. So you have a great day up there. Enjoy your weekend. We'll talk to you Monday.
Thanks, Luther. Behave yourself and keep us posted, and I'll see you then.
All right, take care now.
Bye. Mr. Gilligan reporting out of Ellenboro with the news today, and leaves us time for celebration of your birthday and your anniversary. So call yours in to us now. Todd's standing by out there to take that call. 287-3356 on a Friday the 20th, August the 20th, and we're happy to celebrate, give you a big shout-out this morning on the Morning Report. WCAB 100.9 FM, 590 AM. That phone number is 287-3356.
Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might like to make decisions based on service and savings, not just because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood, because we're headquartered in North Carolina with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc., Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
Hey folks, Farmer's Friend Feed Seed Supply is an amazing store. I can say that because they have what you need. From pet supplies to fire and ant killer to horse quality Timothy alfalfa hay, $14 per bale. Attention carp fishermen, they have C&J flavoring, only $8 per bottle. And they have oats for sale. Refill your propane tanks at the lowest price. Fully stocked with all your deer supplies and a great selection of farm implements. Need mulch? $12 per scoop. We could call it a superstore. Farmer's Friend Feed Seed Supply, 188 Whiteside Road in Rutherford.
Nobody gets a better deal than the customers at Sisk Family Ford. They have a proven record of the best deals. Sisk Family Ford, Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealer, has recently been recognized as the #1 Ford dealer in customer satisfaction in the Southeast. That speaks well of their commitment to serve their customers well. Come take advantage of the springtime sales event and get the automobile you've been wanting. Look for all the new design 2021 F-150 at Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealership. That's Sisk Family Ford, Oak Street, Forest City. Well, the weekend sometimes is pizza weekend, so we certainly hope you'll make your plans to enjoy Granny B's Pizza if you're going to have pizza this weekend. Granny B's Pizza Combo. Choose from 13 different combinations at Granny B's Pizza House. Yeah, they have pizzas, they have subs, and they have delicious daylight donuts and petitfours, and it's just a great place to have lunch, great place to order your pizza. And get this phone number down, memorize it, 286-9012. 286-9012. That's Granny B's phone number for delicious Granny B's Pizza Combo.
Happy birthday.
I want to say happy birthday wishes going out to Geraldine Lane up in Cane Creek community. Geraldine's having a birthday today, so happy birthday, Geraldine. Also celebrating today is Taylor and Michael Fowler. It's their 5th wedding anniversary. Congratulations to the Fowlers. Have many, many more happy anniversaries. That's birthday and anniversary list so far this morning. And stand by for Keys to Confident Living. And we'll take you down memory lane with some classic oldies. And then at 8:05 this morning, Mr. Friday Night, Jay Coombs will talk about the crazy world of high school football and our game tonight. All straight ahead.
Fortune magazine printed the following quote by billionaire H. Ross Perot. Guys, just remember, if you get real lucky, if you make a lot of money, if you go out and buy a lot of stuff, it's going to break. You got your biggest, fanciest mansion in the world. It has air conditioning. It's got a pool. Just think of all the pumps that are going to go out. Or go to a yacht basin any place in the world. Nobody is smiling, and I'll tell you why. Something broke that morning. The generator's out, the microwave oven doesn't work, things just don't mean happiness. In 1992, Karen Lee Gartner of Calgary, Alberta, became the first Canadian in history to win Olympic gold in the women's downhill. In Canada, she was an immediate sensation. Shortly after her victory, an announcer interviewing her commented that this must surely be the most significant day of her life. No, she replied, the most significant day was the day of my marriage, but this ranks pretty high. Even the greatest of achievements cannot compare with the greatest relationships. Who we are and how we relate to others are far more valuable than what we have and how much we've achieved. Many couples are on the treadmill of 40 to 50-hour work weeks in order to provide things for their children they never had when they were growing up. But are things what our children need? Or do they need us and our relationships? This is Bill Hostler with today's Key to Confident Living. Scripts for these programs are sold in book form by calling toll-free 1-888-333-KEYS.
A lot of stations can play great music, but it's what we do between the music that sets us apart. Serving the foothills of the Carolinas, we're family-friendly radio, WCAB.
I'm Brian Clark. Tens of thousands of Americans and Afghans who worked with the U.S. are desperate to leave Afghanistan. This following the swift collapse of the Afghan government, but new evidence suggests the Biden administration may have ignored warnings about the advances of the Taliban. ABC's Stephanie Ramos has more from the White House.
In his only interview since the Taliban overtook the country, Biden telling ABC's George Stephanopoulos that no one predicted it would happen so quickly.
I don't think anybody anticipated that.
But a source tells ABC that American officials at the embassy in Kabul did warn that Afghanistan was on the brink, warning the administration in a mid-July message of the Taliban's swift advance.
The president expected to speak this afternoon and discuss the ongoing evacuation. The White House says 3,000 people were evacuated Thursday. Coronavirus infections continue to increase. So do hospitalizations, especially in the South. In hard-hit Mississippi, Governor Tate Reeves says the severity of the Delta surge could be encouraging more people to get vaccinated.
More and more Mississippians are concluding that getting vaccinated is a good choice not only for themselves, but for the people around them.
Senator Roger Wicker of Mississippi was one of 3 U.S. senators to test positive for COVID-19. All 3 say they have mild symptoms, and health experts say getting vaccinated is likely to lead to more mild symptoms if infected. The National Weather Service says Tropical Storm Henri is expected to reach hurricane strength sometime on Sunday. ABC meteorologist Rob Marciano has more.
Long Island up to Rhode Island and all of the southern New England coastline will be under the gun here for wind, surge, and rain.
Federal appellate court refused to delay the reinstatement of a Trump-era policy that requires thousands seeking asylum in the United States to remain in Mexico during that process. You're listening to ABC News.
In their recent budget proposal, the White House Budget Office forecast inflation for 2021 at 2.1%. In June, the actual rate was 5.4%. The point? Inflation is here. It's coming faster than our government is prepared for, and their solution is to stick their heads in the sand. Now, don't stick your head in the sand. This is Dinesh D'Souza urging you to hedge against inflation by diversifying into gold and silver with Birch Gold Group. Through a little-known tax loophole, Birch Gold Group can help you convert your retirement savings tied to the stock market into an IRA backed by precious metals. I buy my gold from Birch Gold. They have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and countless 5-star reviews. Get a free information kit by texting the word PROTECT to 989898. Again, text PROTECT to 989898. To claim your free, no-obligation information kit and to speak with a precious metals expert on holding gold and silver in a tax-sheltered account.
In Texas, the battle over COVID-19 face coverings rages on. Some school districts are requiring masks by changing dress codes. ABC's Jim Ryan says it's an attempt to skirt the governor's prohibition on mask mandates.
The first district to revise its dress code, the Paris ISD, northeast of Dallas, expects to receive a cease and desist letter from the Attorney General's office any day. AG Ken Paxton has reminded school administrators that Governor Greg Abbott's executive order prohibits local governments from requiring facial coverings or COVID vaccines of their citizens. Paxton's letter contains a hint of a threat as well. Quote, "This order has the force and effect of state law." Jim Ryan, ABC News, Dallas.
A Massachusetts woman is on the verge of being exonerated more than 300 years after she was sentenced to death for witchcraft.
Elizabeth Johnson Jr. was condemned in 1693 at the height of the Salem witch trials, but she was never executed. But State Senator Diana DeZoglio, a Democrat from Methuen, Massachusetts, has introduced legislation to clear Elizabeth's name, thanks to some nifty detective work by an 8th grade civics class at North Andover Middle School, who painstakingly researched Johnson and put together the steps necessary to make sure she was formally pardoned. If lawmakers approve the measure, Johnson will be the last accused witch to be cleared, according to Witches of Massachusetts Bay. Todd Ant, ABC News.
This is ABC News.
Pro football season's here, and pro roofers save valuable time with Beacon Pro Plus. Beacon Pro Plus works 24/7 for material ordering, order history, and automated promotion tracking, so you can get your favorite GAF roofing products even when working remotely. And now, order on Beacon Pro Plus and get a $175 gift card and a chance for a VIP pro football getaway. Gear up and raise your game with Beacon Pro Plus today. Build, score, and win at BECN.com.
Brian Clark, ABC News.
Hello, everyone, and happy Friday. We're starting off rather warm and humid again this morning with some light rain still possible through your morning commute. The roads are still wet thanks to a lot of rain late last night as well. For this afternoon, we'll see scattered showers and thunderstorms popping up mainly late in the afternoon and through the evening. Heavy rain is likely as well, and that could continue overnight tonight. Our highs for today in the mid to upper 80s. Few additional showers Saturday and Sunday afternoons. I'm meteorologist Zach Malak in the Weather Center.
Thanks very much, Zach. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to those who are just joining us for the third hour of the morning wake-up call. It's 5 minutes after 8 o'clock, and our temperature has climbed to 71 degrees. It's going to be a beautiful day. Maybe some showers developing later in this afternoon, but overall, the worst part, I think, is behind us. The weekend looks really good. Well, it's a crazy, crazy year. 21's been crazy, crazy year, including high school football. Mr. Friday Night Jay Coombs is on the phone with me right now. Jay Coombs, good morning.
Good morning, Jim. Have you got about an hour?
2021 should go down as the record year for confusion in high school football. Spring football, now fall football, and cancellations and COVID and mudslides. And it's been a crazy year, hasn't it?
I really thought we would have more confusion, more issues to deal with back in the springtime. But as it turns out, here we are getting ready for week one of the new fall season, and since last Friday, it's been one thing after another. First of all, let's start off with some great news. We had JV football in the county last night. Chase got off to a good start. Trojans shut out Asheville Irwin 16-0. Out at East, Cavaliers playing Crest. Understand it was a hard-fought contest. Crest ended up winning that game 14-6. Up in Rutherfordton, McDowell visiting RS Central last night. Did not catch a final score. Understand it was a really close, competitive game, but McDowell did end up defeating Central last night in JV action. So, why do I mention JV? Because really, that's how the news got started 1 week ago, last Friday. East Rutherford made the decision to not field a varsity football team for this season. Since that decision was announced, I cannot tell you the number of times people have asked me the question, why? My answer is there is no one simple answer as to why East Rutherford is not going to have a varsity team this year. As far as I know, first time ever in school history dating back to the early 1960s. Trust me, fans, the decision to not have a varsity football team at East Rutherford came after considerable thought, debate, discussion. It was not a hastily made decision. In fact, they waited until 1 week ago, last Friday, to decide to go with only a JV team this season instead of trying to put a varsity team on the field. Now, I could go through a laundry list of reasons, quote, why. I don't feel like that's all that important, but trust me, the school administration, the brand new head coach there at East Rutherford, they considered all options before they decided to not have a varsity team this year. So that news hit 1 week ago. Then on Monday, well, here we go. First game that I found out had been postponed, canceled because of COVID issues, was the Brevard at Canton-Pisgah game. And then shortly after that, found out that the Morganton Freedom at Crest game also canceled because of COVID issues up at Freedom. So, Crest and Pisgah immediately connected, and we were going to have Canton-Pisgah at Crest tonight. But Tuesday hit, and we all know what happened Tuesday. The pictures, the video coming out of Canton, it's just sad, just terrible. The flooding situation that hit, because of the flooding, Canton-Pisgah had to notify Crest that, hey, we've got an emergency situation up here, therefore we will not be able to play this Friday night. So that means Crest tonight over in Boiling Springs will not play. And their first cancellation because of COVID, and their second cancellation because of the flooding up in Canton. By the way, the football stadium up at Canton was submerged underwater, a terrible sight. They had just spent a tremendous, and I mean we're talking thousands of dollars, refurbishing the field, redoing the stadium, made some improvements there as well. And to see Pisgah's football stadium totally submerged in water on Tuesday, very sad sight. In fact, they may not get to play a single home game this year up in Canton. So, what about Rutherford County? Well, everything was looking pretty good. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm going to get all choked up talking about it now. No COVID issues for me that I'm aware of. But the news broke that there had been a COVID issue up in Burnsville at Mountain Heritage High School. Well, Chase was scheduled to travel up to Burnsville tonight to take on Mountain Heritage, but the game canceled due to COVID issues. Well, Chase got busy immediately. This happened yesterday, and they were like, let's see if we can find somebody else to play. They found West Henderson, and West Henderson had an open date going into tonight because originally they were going to be in Forest City at East Rutherford tonight. Well, East decided not to have a varsity team. Therefore, the game with West Henderson canceled. That gave Chase the opportunity to travel tonight up to Hendersonville. It will be Chase at West Henderson. Okay, we are all set. No, late last night, word came out of Avondale. Evidently some COVID issues at Thomas Jefferson Classical Academy, and the Griffins announced that they would have to cancel tonight's football game against Valdez Drone. Not a lot of additional information involved there, but evidently the COVID issues are at TJ. What does that mean? Hopefully they will be able to play next week, open up the season as planned at Pine Lake Prep. We'll have to stay tuned and find out what happens next week. Now, we mentioned Chase will be at West Henderson tonight. Our game of the week is going to be RS Central at McDowell. Now, so far, both of these games, Central at McDowell, Chase at West Henderson, they are on. Everything is good to go for tonight, 7:30 kickoff time. A couple of other games of interest. Newton Conover tonight will be at Polk County. Shelby at Kings Mountain. That is a huge rivalry over in Cleveland County. And Burns tonight travels to Gastonia. Actually, they have to travel a bit farther. Burns will be at Forest View, but they have moved the game location. It will now be played at Stuart Kramer, where they have turf much better field conditions, evidently, than what they currently have at Forest View. Wow, let me catch my breath. I think that summarizes what's happened all since last Friday.
Well, I don't know how you stay on top of all that with all those changes and all those different scheduling moves. And I'm glad in our Foothills Journal we put their football schedule subject to change, because it certainly has risen to that point.
Jim, I think fans are going to have to be prepared this season. Let's hope that things settle down, but I think we're going to have to be prepared. Anything is possible. Originally, we were scheduled to broadcast the West Henderson at East game tonight. Obviously, that had to change real quick 1 week ago whenever East decided they would not have a varsity team. And, Jim, I've only scratched the surface. We have new conferences this year. We'll be talking about that when it gets closer to playing the conference games. We have 2 new head coaches in Rutherford County at East Rutherford at RS Central. We have a new playoff situation this year. There are so many issues. We could keep going for another 30, 45 minutes.
I'm sure there'll be some of that you could tell us about during the countdown to kickoff this evening as you get started with the first game of the season. There'll be a lot of interest in those games that we'll be broadcasting, and I'm glad you're on top of it. I appreciate you spending a lot of time working on getting that schedule fine-tuned for our broadcast audience. It will be, of course, be on 100.9 FM, 590 AM. It'll be streaming on our web at www.wcb59.com, and I think you folks have a Facebook presence also, don't you?
Yes, we do, and also on Twitter. So just look up WCAB Football, and you can follow us there. Cliff Palmieri back with me. We'll be on the air with a countdown to kickoff tonight, 7 o'clock. Kickoff 7:30. Our featured game of the week will be RS Central at McDowell.
Well, I'm sure the teams that we're covering is going to be excited about being able to play, since they know that so many schools are not playing. They should really be up for it tonight to make a real impression on those who attend those games in person and those who will be listening on radio.
We're looking forward to it. Hope for a good game tonight.
Jay Combs, Mr. Friday Night, thank you so very much for all you do for high school football and keeping us informed. And we'll look forward to tuning you in this evening at 7 o'clock right here. Thanks so much.
Okay, thanks, Jim.
That's Jay Combs. My goodness, what a season for football. It's been a crazy 2021, and I know it's going to be exciting football. And that's why we're happy that we're able to broadcast those games to you. And many folks depend on us for the best coverage, because Jay Combs has been doing this a long, long time, and Cliff Palmieri also been his partner for a long, long time. And we appreciate your depending on us to get the football news to you. And they keep posted on the scores from other schools as they get them as well, so you can hear what's happening in other places while you're listening to our broadcast with Jay and Cliff tonight. We have the Sheriff's Report coming up with Deputy Chapman in just a few moments.
Honey, I got the new Premier Cash scratch-off.
Oh, what should I wear? Sequins or satin?
We could win millions. Go with sequatin.
Yeah, sequatin.
The champagne is chilled.
Did you get Doggy's Tux?
Yeah.
Play like a millionaire. Premier Cash from the North Carolina Education Lottery with top prizes of $2 million. It's the most premier thrill around. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 3.08. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Hey, Greer, where you going?
I'm out of dog food. I'm trying to get to the grocery store before the crowd hits.
Just go to Rutherford Pet Supply.
Rutherford Pet Supply?
Yeah, you don't even have to go in. Just go to their drive-thru window, tell them what you need, or you can go online at rutherfordpet.com. Just whiz through the drive-thru. They have top brand merchandise at guaranteed lowest prices, and if they aren't the lowest, they'll match it and give you 10% of the difference.
Can I call?
Yep, 248-2336.
I don't have to get out of the car? Hey, that's great. That means I don't have to put on...
Rutherford Pet Supply, 115 Reservation Drive in Spindale. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. until 6 p.m., caring for the furry members of your family. Use our drive-thru, and you won't even have to get out of your pajamas.
This is Dwayne Hunt with Insurance Service Associates. We know that due to COVID, many people don't want to come in the office. If you need to discuss your insurance needs or just make a payment, you can come through the drive-thru, telephone us, or drop in. We want to see you, but it doesn't have to be across from a desk. Insurance Service Associates, now located at 245 East Main Street in Forest City.
At Smith Drugs of Forest City, we are continue to offer the COVID-19 rapid testing and the COVID-19 vaccinations. Please call our pharmacy at 828-245-4591 with any questions or concerns that you may have. You may also visit our website at smithsdrugsfc.com and schedule your COVID rapid 19 test or your vaccination. Again, if you have any questions, please call our pharmacy at 828-245-4591.
Forest City Officer Jamie Hill, that was shot in the line of duty, was welcomed home yesterday from the hospital into his hometown with a lot of cheers, applause, a parade with police cars from all over the county. And they welcomed him with open arms and congratulations because he is back at home. Thank goodness, in prayers were answered. Jamie Hill, officer from Forest City, survived and is doing well, and we welcome him home. And thank you for your service, Officer Hill. And thank you for all those folks who turned out yesterday to welcome him back home. Police cars everywhere, cars blowing horns and waving and flags flying and fire engines available. It was a great welcome home, and I know he appreciated that. Other final news before our sheriff's report. Keep reminding you and keep remembering these folks in your prayers and thoughts. 20 people still missing in the western part of the state, up in the Canton area. 2 dead, 20 missing. Haywood County Emergency Services announced yesterday that 2 people were confirmed dead after the flooding that prompted dozens of water rescues. Their identities were not immediately released. Around 20 people remain missing this morning. The storm that blew through the area Tuesday made roads impassable, washed out bridges, and swamped homes and businesses. Another flood-related death was reported earlier in the week in Florida. More than 200 people searched flooded areas along the Pigeon River. At least 10 bridges were damaged or destroyed in the Crusoe community, where engineering teams worked to construct temporary bridges to allow people in and out of their homes. Emergency shelter at a nearby high school housed 11 people. And you heard Jay Coombs mention the new stadium there at Canton High School was flooded over after many thousands of dollars had gone into refurbishing it. More than people just being unable to be found. One wife saw her husband swept away in the flood, and they have not rescued him yet. They were at a campsite, drug the car in. They were in the car, and they finally were able to rescue her, but he was not rescued. And it's a story in the Asheville News 13, I believe, had that story. We'll keep you posted as we learn more about that situation up in Canton area. Deputy Chapman was on with us earlier this morning to give us a report from the Sheriff's Department right here in our county, and here is the report.
In the last 24 hours, Rutherford County Sheriff's Office responded to 169 calls for service, 16 arrested, and 201 incarcerated in the jail. As far as incident reports go, we have a Gerald Stemple off of Mountain Way, Lake Lure, reported fraud. Have Micah Elijah Montadon off of Willie Lakes Drive in Rutherford, reported a simple assault. That's all we have for incident reports. As far as arrest reports go, we have Travis Edward Queen off of Wagon Trail, Mooresboro, arrested for failure to appear on misdemeanor. Have Charles Palmer off of 2nd Avenue, was arrested for failure to appear on misdemeanor. Ashley Nicole Varney off of Old US 221A, Mooresboro, arrested for failure to appear on misdemeanor. Brian Michael Whitner off of Rock Corner Road, Forest City, was arrested for a habitual felon and driving while license revoked. Michael Sean Green off of East Highway 74 Business, was arrested for driving while licensed revoked. We have Annette Mariah Wagner off of Island Ford Road, was arrested for failure to appear on felony. Have a Michael Anthony Robbins off of Wild Avenue, arrested for possession of methamphetamine, possessed drug paraphernalia, and failure to appear on misdemeanor. Has Ryan Kimball off of McDowell Street, arrested for misdemeanor larceny. And Danielle Nicole Patterson off of Bryan Drive, Far City, arrested for failure to appear on misdemeanor. And that's all we have for today, sir.
Is there, whether we take this step or not.
A legal victory for Dodgers pitcher Trevor Bauer in the courtroom. KCBS TV's Nicole Comstock reports.
In her ruling Thursday, Judge Diana Gould Saltman said of the accuser that Bauer did not coerce her or threaten her into sexual activity. When she set boundaries, Bauer respected them. She wanted rough sex in the first encounter and rougher sex in the second.
We are grateful to the Los Angeles Superior Court for denying the request for a permanent restraining order and dissolving the temporary restraining order against Mr. Bauer today.
Bauer stood beside his attorney, Sean Hawley, outside the court. His legal team, as well as the judge, brought up text messages Bauer's accuser sent, which reportedly seemed to contradict her claims that what happened during their encounters was not consensual.
According to a person familiar with the situation, the Charlotte Hornets have agreed to a 4-year, $97 million contract extension with guard Terry Rozier. The person spoke to AP on condition of anonymity. Rozier, a 6-year NBA veteran, averaged a career-high 20.4 points last year. You're listening to NCN Sports.
Staying connected is important in today's world. Whether it's hearing the news of a new baby in the family or calling work to let your boss know you're running late, phone and internet service keep you connected with your world. At AT&T, we know that some Americans face life every day without the comfort and security of having a phone or internet service. In certain areas, you may be able to reduce your phone or internet bill with a Lifeline discount if you are in a qualifying low-income household. Additional discounts of up to $25 may be available to those living on federally recognized tribal lands where AT&T offers Lifeline. To find out more about Lifeline and other AT&T products and services, call us at 800-288-2020 or go to att.com/lifeline if you have access to the internet.
Lifeline is a government benefit program, and willfully making false statements to obtain this benefit is punishable by fine or imprisonment and could result in termination of Lifeline service. Lifeline enrollment requires certain eligibility documentation and is non-transferable. Limited to 1 discount per household. AT&T services, including Lifeline, are not available in all areas. Other restrictions apply.
The Yankees stretching their winning streak and staying ahead of the A's in the wild card race. Here's Dave Ferry.
Luke Voigt laced a 2-run double while the Yankees scored 4 times in the 3rd inning of their season-high 7th straight win, 7-5 over the Twins. Kyle Higashioka homered and started the 4-run rally with an RBI double.
Us at the bottom of the order, we just want to contribute to wins. So, and we're going to turn the lineup over, and Judge, Rizzo, Voigt, all those guys are going to come up with runners on base and have a chance to do some real damage.
Both hits scored Bronx native Andrew Velasquez, who had 2 hits and also stole a base. Giancarlo Stanton also homered for the Yankees, who lead the first AL wild card by 1 game over the Athletics. Jamison Taillon took a shutout into the 5th inning and earned his 7th straight win. I'm Dave Ferry.
Tony Rixby, NCN Sports.
Hello, everyone, and happy Friday. We're starting off rather warm and humid again this morning with some light rain still possible through your morning commute. The roads are still wet thanks to a lot of rain late last night as well. For this afternoon, we'll see scattered showers and thunderstorms popping up mainly late in the afternoon and through the evening. Heavy rain is likely as well, and that could continue overnight tonight. Our highs for today in the mid to upper 80s. Few additional showers Saturday and Sunday afternoons. I'm meteorologist Zach Malak in the Weather Center.
Right now, 71 degrees, and from today, starting tomorrow, I guess, tomorrow all the way through Thursday of next week, it's going to be mostly clear and some sunny skies, but high temperatures, 92 on Monday and 92 on Tuesday and Wednesday, and some hot humidity weather throughout today. Today, we're getting up to about 87 with the heat index around 92. Right now, we are at 71 degrees. Enjoy high school football tonight here on the radio. Our game of the week is RS Central at McDowell. We'll have that game for you right here tonight. It's time now for the Word of Faith Fellowship radio program, and with the program this morning is Bobby Harrell and John Cornelius.
Hello, everyone, and welcome again to Word of Faith Fellowship radio program. This is Mark, and today I have a very special program. I have two of my dear friends with me. I have Bobby and I have John, and they are in the truck driving industry. And they're going to share with you today about what God has done in their lives as they've driven across this country all over the place, and they have seen miracles in their lives. Actually, John and Bobby drove together for several years, long distance, going and picking up produce and vegetables and going all the way to California and other states. And so they definitely have seen the hand of God on their lives. There is miracles that they have witnessed on the road, God's protecting power on their lives, and they have learned that it is something you have to do to be safe on the road is you've got to trust God and you've got to pray. And our church also prays for them, and they're on our prayer list a lot, and so we keep them in prayer. So they're here, and they want to share with you what God has done in their lives. So, Bobby, let's start with you, and would you first tell the listeners what it is to be on the road as a long-distance truck driver?
Yes. Good morning, Rutherford County. It is a pleasure to be here this morning, and I drive over the road. I'm normally gone roughly 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, but we normally start from Rutherfordton. Then we go out to Reno, Nevada, and then into California, possibly into Washington State, and then back within 4 days. And I drive teams ever since I've been with FreightWorks. I have driven teams, and there was a time where I went solo for about maybe two and a half months, and that wasn't for me. I wanted to be with somebody at the, just to where I have someone to talk to, and.
Is this the truck you drive, does it have a sleeper cabin?
Yeah, it actually has bunk beds. It has a refrigerator, and we have a microwave. It's like a mini apartment.
And so while you're driving, is your partner sleeping?
Yes. A lot of times, whenever I'm done driving, I'll stay up with him for about maybe an hour and a half, just to get a feel for how he's doing and how he feels and everything, and then I'll go lay down, and I always tell him, if you need me, don't hesitate, to let me know, because with the way the roads are and the construction and everything is out there, it's serious.
Yes, absolutely. Well, tell us, Bobby, what you have seen God do in your life as you've been on the road.
Well, I want to give one scripture, just kind of started off of just where I've seen the faithfulness of God, and it's in Isaiah 41 verse 10. It says, "Fear not, there is nothing to fear, for I am with you. Do not look around you in terror and be dismayed, for I am your God. I will harden you to difficulties. I will help you. I will hold you up and retain you in my right hand of righteousness and justice." With that, I have gone through things like when everybody is sleeping. I drive from midnight to 12 o'clock in the afternoon. And a lot of times, the road it's real quiet, but then other times it's it's there's a lot of traffic and a lot of confusion. There's just a lot you have to have a hold of everything next to you, in front of you, and even behind you. I've got a few experiences.
Yeah, share with us.
Okay, well, there was one time, this was the most recent. I was coming through I-80 in Salt Lake City, and it was probably maybe 3 o'clock in the morning. And there in Salt Lake, they're 2 hours behind. And so it was probably around 11, 12, the roads were still real busy, and all of a sudden I started seeing state troopers flying everywhere. And I'm on I-80, and all the state troopers were actually heading to I-15. It's like overpasses amongst overpasses. Anyway, there was a big pileup, and I just happened to see the car was flipped over on its hood, and then the next thing I come around the corner, and there's the person's hood in my lane, and I had to swerve out of the way. Mm-hmm. And whenever you swerve and you have around roughly 77,000 pounds, it's pretty intense. You gotta be able to make sure that there's nobody around you, especially if you have to swerve out of the way, or else you're gonna hurt somebody. Mm-hmm. And then another time, every time we go into Nevada, you never know what the weather's going to do. There's a lot of dust storms, a lot of high winds, and it doesn't even matter if you're 77 to even 80,000 pounds. Those winds can knock you into the other lane, And one that I'm real familiar with, me and John, is in Elk Mountain, Wyoming, and that's out there. It's a given. It's even they say that it can snow in July up on top of that mountain, and they normally roughly their winds could be 65 plus, and I had to go into the weigh station. A weigh station is where you have to show your documents before you go, make sure that you're okay to weight-wise to go on their highways. And I had to go in there one night, and I just asked the officer, I said, what do you consider a light trailer? And he says, if you blow over, you're a light trailer. And then he says that at any given point in time, it doesn't matter how heavy you are, these winds out here are so strong that it can knock you over, and you could be over in seconds. And there's times, even as we're going through Wyoming, we see these big trucks. They're either crossing the road or on the side, laying over. And it's it's pretty serious and everything. And I actually have some past experiences. That was just a recent. But I have, there was one whenever I was with another driver. We actually met John in Rawlins, Wyoming. And so we met him at a truck stop. It's called the TA. And so I walked over to John's truck, and I woke him up, and because he knew that we were coming. And when we pulled in there, it started snowing really bad, and then we ended up getting stuck at that truck stop, and because they had a 52 truck pileup.
Oh.
and if me and my partner would have kept going, we would have been right in that pileup.
Yep.
You know, so
God spared you there for sure.
yeah. Oh yeah. And with that, I was in a place called Buttonwillow, California, and that's out in the desert. It's over by, I think it's over by Bakersfield, and I had to pick up a load of potatoes the next morning, but I had just got finished using that particular reefer unit as a dry van. And a reefer unit is where you cool off, you know, your produce to keep it cold to maintain a temperature. And when we use it for dry van, it could be stuff that we haul for that doesn't have to have the reefer unit running. And this is one particular time I was by myself, and I had went to bed, and then all of a sudden God woke me up, and I started thinking about, I never even turned this unit on. And so I get up and turn the unit on, and the next thing I know, there's fuel spewing out of the fuel filter. And it's 11 o'clock California time, so it's almost 3 North Carolina time. And so it was me. I couldn't really call anybody to get a hold of, because it was me. And so I walked over to the to their mechanic shop, and the guy said all their mechanics were out on service calls, and so it was me. So I purchased this fuel filter, and I'm looking at the open unit trying to read, and it's pitch black out there, and I'm trying to read how to put this thing on. And I remember John had told me once before, like, if you're using the fuel filter, you always got to put fuel in the filter. See, because we used to always just let our mechanics, do all that, and so I knew to put the fuel in, and then I put the filter on, but then I had to find the priming pump, and and that was a little difficult, because everything kind of looked like, where is this priming pump, And so I'm looking at the schematic, and I see a schematic of a pump, but then when I look and see where it was at, it was like hidden, and then I was able to find this thing and just pump it and pump it and pump it and pump it and pump it. You literally had to pump it till you couldn't pump it anymore, and I got the unit running. And then I had another incident where I was in Oregon, and I was at a TA over by Hood River, and in the middle of the night, my radiator hose blew, and it's like 18 degrees out, snowing. And there again, it was me, because it was me. So I went to the TA, and they couldn't help me, so I walked over to the Loves, and they have a service over there, but they were getting ready to close. So I went ahead and I took this hose off myself, and the guy saw the desperation in me. He literally drove all the way to Portland to go get one hose for me. And then he puts it on for me, and there has been so many places where God has helped me, just even in small situations, even the small situations, it was me and Jesus, and one thing that I told Sherry, I said, that scripture where he's going to harden me to difficulties, I tell her that even now of it's you have to have a clear mind, and you have to be to where you can hear the voice of God and what to do.
Absolutely, and that's powerful testimonies, and you've seen that in your life. You were out there, and you had no one to help you in those situations, and it's you and Jesus, and Jesus showed up every time. So that's powerful, Bobby. John, you were on the road. You've done a lot of everything. You were a mechanic. You've been long distance truck driving. You team drove with Bobby.
Yes.
And are you actually in the shop now?
Yes, I'm in the shop. I still drive occasionally.
Okay.
But what I did want to go back and share some experiences that Bobby and I had together as a team. This is to go with his I-80s. If you ever Google I-80, Interstate 80 is considered one of the most treacherous interstates in the United States. It is clearly through Wyoming. Is like you said, high winds are one of the biggest factors for a driver, a professional driver. It is always there all through the season. If you happen to go through and you miss high winds, it's definitely a plus. It's a miracle. Like you said, Elk Mountain, we're going through Elk Mountain, Rawlins, Laramie. Those are, if you can get through those areas, you got it. That's like, those are your carrot. That's what we still kind of say. If you can get through those areas, it's a blessing. You can make you've made it. And to go back in our early days when we had gone through, we were Bobby and I. We just started teaming, and I'm from Montana, so I was used to snow. And Bobby's from Florida. He had
You're used to sunshine.
Yeah, he was used to sunshine. So I knew we were coming. We started teaming. It was like in November. So I was the lead driver, and I told him, I said, Bobby, there's a possibility we're probably going to hit snow on the way back. So we had already gone to Reno, and we're coming back through Wyoming. And he was, like he said, we were on a shift, and so I was resting, and he had gone through Salt Lake, and he's coming up through Wyoming, and he woke me up. He said, "There's snow on the ground." So
several times.
So I told him, I said, okay, well, I'm not gonna push you. I said, let's just pull over, find a spot, pull over, and we'll wait, because I feel more confident about me driving in snow than he did. So I said, just pull over, we'll take a break, and then when my shift comes, we'll regroup and we'll see what happens with the storm. So we're keeping monitored, and we do travel with a CB to monitor what was going on. And as we were resting, all of a sudden it was probably about 2 o'clock in the morning, because at that time our shift was 3 to 3, so it was coming up on 2 o'clock, and you could hear all this activity going on, and then I got up, and Bobby was sleeping. I turned up the volume a little bit, and I could hear commotion was really happening, and I could hear some people were saying, "Do not get on the interstate." So I got dressed, and I went into the truck stop, and I started getting some information. Well, it turned out the roads had changed very rapidly, and there was turned icy. There ended up being a 60-car pileup on the interstate. And I saw the hand of God, because if we would have continued driving on his shift, we could have easily been involved in that accident. Yes. If we would have continued on and kept going through that snowstorm. And I am so grateful to God for people that pray in our church for the truck drivers, because it is like bread for our drivers. And then there was another time where we avoided a tornado on Nebraska 2, and that was the same situation. Bobby's driving, and I was on second shift. We were coming through, and the weather had changed really rapidly, and the rain was going sideways. It was getting really rough. I could feel the truck because I was resting. It was slapping us back and forth, and we came to it was right before we got to Sydney, and Bobby pulled over to a truck stop, and by then, my weather app was just telling me, we were under a tornado warning, and we pulled in to the fuel island, and this particular truck stop had inside of the men's bathroom, it had looped. They were playing the Weather Channel on it. They had a big monitor inside there for all the drivers to see the weather. So we were watching this thing, and we were in just amazement that we stopped when we did. So instantly, I can't remember if it was he or I, we contacted the church and we told them to pray, and then we of course we contacted our pastor. We told her what was going on, and we said we feel like we're going to stay, and she said yes, stay. So we stayed. We parked the truck, and it was really amazing how God even had a spot for us, because that place was packed out. I mean, everybody was to find a spot at that time of the night. It was God for us. Mm-hmm. We parked. We waited the whole time. The winds were blowing. It was definitely tornadic weather.
Even that guy, there was a storm chaser.
Yeah, and then we were waiting, and then my CB's going, and folks are saying there was a guy. He was on the radio frequency. He was warning drivers not to get out onto the interstate. And so I'm listening to him, and then we rested. So then I heard him again, and it was about an hour or so later, and the weather had gone down a little bit. It wasn't raining, the winds weren't blowing as bad, but they still had the warning out. And then, so I said, Bobby, what do you feel? Should we go out? Because we were under a load, and we had a time constraint. And so he said, well, I don't know, what do you have hold of? And I said, well, I feel like we could go. So I contact this guy on the radio again, and he says, well, how heavy are you? So I told him the weight we were, and I started to proceed down the road, and I'm going southbound towards Kansas City, and we're conversing, and I'm asking him questions about himself, and it turns out this man was a weather chaser. And he was actually blazing a path for us down the road. And then he told us that on I-70, if we would have gone out when we did, a tornado was rolling on I-70 going eastbound on I-70, and he was stopping people from coming out on that. And so God spared us at that particular time. But the thing I really wanted to share with you was how he and I, we had to build a trust, and as teams, you have to trust each other when you're driving, because his life and my life, when you go to sleep, you have to trust. And then I wanted to share with you a scripture that I had in 2 Chronicles, and I'll just kind of briefly, because we're getting our time's going fast. And it's 2 Chronicles 15, and it's about, and I'll just read it. It says, verse 2, and he went out to meet Asa and said to him, hear me, Asa, and all Judah and Benjamin, and the Lord is with you while you are with him. And if you seek him, inquiring for and of him, craving him as your soul's first necessity, he will be found by you. But if you become indifferent and forsake him, he will forsake you. And that was the thing. I mean, we every time before we left for a trip, that was in our hearts, that we were going to seek God. And you could see at each point how God protected us and he kept us. And then in verse 12, because I could see how, this was us. Verse 12, and we entered into, and it says in verse 12, and they entered into a covenant to seek the Lord, the God of their fathers, to yearn for him with all their heart's desire and with all their soul. And that was us. And that's what God wants us as a people in this time and hour to enter in that covenant, to seek God, with all our heart's desire. And also I just wanted to share one of the scripture real quick in Hebrews 13. I know we're running out of time here. Go quickly here. Hebrews 13, verse 5 here. It says, let your character and your moral disposition be free from the love of money, including greed, avarice, lust, and craving for earthly possessions, and be satisfied with your present circumstances and with what you have. For he, God himself, has said, I will not in any way fail you, nor give up, nor leave you without support. And I could so see God, he has never, while we drove, have left us without. He said, I will not in any degree leave you helpless, nor forsake you, nor let you down and relax my hold on you. Assuredly not. And I can so see that, over and over, time and time. And so we take comfort and are not, and are encouraged and confidently and boldly say, the Lord is my helper. I will not be seized with alarm, and I will not fear or dread or be terrified. What can man do to me? That right there, that is our testimony as drivers. I will not fear what God has been our helper over and over.
That's very powerful, John. And what powerful testimonies. When we go on these highways and we see all these huge trucks driving and they're all over the place. As I'm hearing you share, I'm so mindful of just how the keeping power has been on your lives and how important it is that we continue to pray for both of you, that we continue to pray for all the truck drivers out there on the roads. As you said, Bobby, you're carrying a huge amount of weight and you're going all over the place, and God's hand has been on both of you. We just have a minute left. John, would you just share for the listeners how, when you're driving that vehicle, just the relationship with Jesus, as you're on the road, you're behind the wheel, you got your hands on the steering wheel, and you're tell them in a real nutshell how it is that we all can live safely, that we all can live in the protection of God is in relationship and just hearing his voice, and how God's shown you how you hear his voice as you're driving.
Well, there's a great example really quick, and it comes out of Matthew 14 when Jesus, when he was walking on the water and he told the disciple to come. He said, come, and the disciple said, come to me, can I? And he stepped out in faith because he knew God said. And that's that relationship, where, driving, I know there's nothing I can do without Jesus. When I have my hands at the wheel, I trust God. I don't have any ability in myself. I can't do anything without God flowing through me to do what I need to do. And when I know I have that peace and that comfort, then the job gets done, and I get home safely, and the load gets there safely, and the equipment gets there safely, and the blessings there.
That's great. Well, thank you both of you for coming. We've actually been working on this program for a long time, trying to get Bobby back from all over the country here. And so thank you both for being here. And we thank you for listening. This is Word of Faith Fellowship, and we're so glad that you continue to listen to us. We are on these programs Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 8:30.